Morning, everyone. It's not morning, actually. It is more like, you guys are going to get the rattling from the microphone, aren't you? Okay, I'm not taking a car this time. We're walking. That's because, as you guys know, I've said it in a few videos, and if you don't, if you're new here, I have a Lotus Elise Club Racer, and I've had it since December, and I'm thinking of selling it now. So basically what I'm doing is I'm driving, sorry, I'm a bit out of breath. It's because you'll understand why in a second. Basically, I am test driving a bunch of different cars that I'm interested in buying. First of which was the Lotus Exige. Obviously, these are to replace the Elise, so I'll sell that and get a replacement. I am so out of breath. This hill is massive. Today, a friend of mine called Jerry has recently bought the new Audi RS3, and I thought it would be fun if I saw what that was like. Yeah, sort of improvise from there. So I got the drone. The sun's going down. It's the evening. This is quite spontaneous, and I'm out of breath. But yeah, I'm gonna put this camera down. It's quite heavy. Right here, I'm now with the RS3, guys. We drove up, actually, as you may have seen, we just drove a couple minutes away from my house to this place you probably know really well. Beautiful viewpoint. I am going to get the drone up in a bit to do some artsy stuff, but I just want to show you the car first, and here it is. What year is this? There's Jerry over there. What year is it?
14.
You should know this. 15. Okay, there we go. 2015. Audi RS3, and it's really cool. The windows are actually tinted today, so we can't put them down. But anyway, so this is the second car that I'm around that could be a potential replacement for the Lotus Elise. So what I really am counting on is you guys to comment what you think between this, the Exige, or any other cars like the 4C or anything like that, because I am going to be taking your comments into consideration. So comment down below what you think. But anyways, let me show you around this. I was always a big fan of like the A3, S3, and I love RS cars, but I think that with this one they really nailed it. I've got the key, so we'll look inside and everything, but I think it's an absolutely stunning looking car. In this grey as well, I think it works really well. The drone is out for later, getting ready. Waiting for the sun to go down a bit, then that's coming out. But anyways, yes, 5-door based on the A3, as you guys probably figured out. It's got 367 horsepower, this car, from a 5-cylinder engine, and this one has all of the black grills and everything round front. Sorry for any noise of cars driving past. We're not allowed to go there anymore, so this was the best we could sort of do. And then inside, open it up. This is where it sort of really comes into its own, I think. These are some of my favorite seats. As you guys know, the 458 seats are my favorites, but these are not far behind. I think the sort of stitching on them and the whole design is absolutely stunning. And then also really like the steering wheel design with the Alcantara here, with the flat bottom and all of that. It looks really nice. And obviously it's really practical being based on the A3. You got your seats behind, which is actually something that really attracts me to this car, because with the Exige, or with the Elise I have now, the main problem is it's just so hardcore. It's so like, you got your two seats, you have a tiny boot, and it's just not that comfortable. They're really loud and that stuff, which is good in a way. And I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I have another car that I could drive daily, so I don't necessarily need it to be both a daily and a sports car, but I mean, it is an added bonus for this. And the car is very fast. You got launch control, you got all this different stuff. So instead of me just blabbing on, why don't we put the drone up in the air, get some artsy shots, hear the car, and do all that stuff. Cue the music. Okay, I'm at the wheel of the RS3. Jerry is very kindly letting me drive, thank you. A few things you need to know. So you have a button called the drive select button right here, where you go from different modes. So right now we're in dynamic, you then have individual, which I presume is when you sort of set up your own thing. So you could have comfortable suspension, but loud exhaust, etc. Comfort, and the exhaust go off. We can't put the windows down because the tints were done today, but the exhaust actually makes a really, really sort of different noise. I don't know if you can hear it, but it kind of like instantly gets quite a lot louder. When you're inside, the main thing, it being an Audi, is it just feels really sort of quality. So the steering wheel, for example, I know it's like a really not something you wouldn't necessarily think of, but compared to the Lotus, it just feels a lot more solid, if that makes sense. So interesting. Anyways, let's get started. Let's do this. Doesn't feel that big. It's quite small feeling based on the A3. So 367 horsepower. It's got those cool wavy brake discs as well, which in my mind means it brakes insanely well. They don't just only look cool. It does feel quite sporty. Oh, the paddles are really nice. Solid feeling paddles. Quick gear shifts. It feels very cool. The suspension's quite hard actually. It's harder than you'd expect, it being based on the A3, but I guess in dynamic mode, yeah, that must change the suspension, no?
Super hard.
Yeah, it is quite tricky. So now it's in manual. There's a small delay between clicking the paddle and the actual gear shift, but when the gear shift actually happens, it's lightning quick. That's the thing with this, you could actually use this every day. If you put it in comfort, it's not that loud. You can put it in auto and then it's perfectly fine. Whereas things like an Alpha 4C or a Lotus, for example, it's less sort of that sort of everyday usability, especially with the Lotus where you'd really want it in a manual. The Alpha, you can only get it with flappy paddles. But this is sort of the best of both worlds in a way. The noise is amazing, it does these cracks. So we can't drive it that fast because we're like around these city areas, but from initial feelings, it's a weird mix between it feeling like a hatchback and a sports car, which is I guess what they're going for, and having it in dynamic, that's even further sort of reinforced. But the main feeling is it feels like a hatchback with a loud exhaust, good suspension, and plenty of power effectively, which is exactly what you'd expect. But it's really, really nice feeling. It has a lot more of an exotic feel than you would expect. I mean, these are the type of cars, it's like kind of what you feel when you drive a 911. From the outside you think, oh, it just looks like a 911, but when you're at the wheel of it, it's like a total beast. So this is the same sort of feel. You just think, oh, it's like a tuned up A3, but when you're actually driving it, you're like, oh man, this feels cool. Right, let's see how it accelerates. God, it really sounds like a V10. It's insane how much it sounds like an R8 in a way. Oh, I am enjoying this. It's like a baby little hatchback R8 is what it feels like. Jerry, you should never let me. I'm gonna end up spending more money than I should. This was a bad idea, this drive. It's quite smooth as well. It's not clunky. Often with these sort of semi-auto boxes, you get quite clunky sort of hill starts, like the one we just did there, where you would have that sort of clunky feel when you start accelerating, but this is really nice and smooth. It's got some power as well. It's got plenty of power. It's not quite as instant and as surgy feeling as the Exige. Obviously it weighing a lot more, but it's definitely then the noise is marvelous. Noise, they've nailed the noise of this car. Well. This is a rather surprising experience. I'm liking this a lot more than I thought I would. It's a really good balance between sporty and usable. And this being four-wheel drive as well, it does grip the road. You can feel that it really does grip. We're back at mine, guys. Conclusion is, if you're looking for a daily driver sports kind of feeling car, this is the dream, because it is It feels exotic, it feels sporty, it's plenty. You don't need any more power than this. If anything, you don't even need this much power. It feels like a sports car wrapped into a hatchback body, which is, I know I'm saying literally the most obvious thing that I possibly could, but they've really nailed it, and it really feels like how you would expect it to, and it's got that Audi quality and everything. So this is tricky because I really like the Exige, but I really like this. So I need you guys to comment down below what you think. Do you think RS3? Do you think Exige? Do you think 4C? And if anyone has a 4C or a Focus RS or anything like that that I could drive, just send me an inbox or do something like that. seb@sebdelaney.com is my email if you want to send that. But yeah, I'm going to end the video here. Switch the car. How do you switch the car off? There's a button here.
Yep.
Lovely. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you soon.